The history of the Tonkawa Nation presents a compelling narrative of adaptation, strategic resilience, and enduring identity within the North American Southwest. Historically operating as a confederation of autonomous, nomadic bands across central and eastern Texas and western Oklahoma, the tribe maintained a distinct cultural footprint defined by linguistic isolation, specialized kinship networks, and a deep cosmological bond with the Southwestern landscape. The primary autonym utilized by the Tonkawa people is Tikkenwatik, alternatively rendered in historical texts as Titska Watich or Tikkenwatik, which translates directly to the most human of people or real people. This self-designation reflects an egalitarian worldview rooted in intrinsic human worth rather than ethnocentric dominance. Conversely, the universally recognized term Tonkawa is an exonym derived from the Wacoan word Tonkawea, translating to "they all stay together." This designation characterizes the political structure of the tribe during the 17th and 18th centuries, when numerous distinct, fragmented bands consolidated into a unified defensive entity to resist encirclement by aggressive neighboring nations and expanding European colonial powers. Linguistically, the Tonkawa language represents a linguistic isolate. While 19th century ethnologists attempted to group Tonkawan within the Coahuiltecan stock or the broader Macro-Algonquian phylum due to shared hunter-gatherer vocabularies along the Rio Grande Basin, modern linguistic consensus highlights its isolation from surrounding Caddoan, Uto-Aztecan, and Athabascan tongues. Early historical models posited that the Tonkawa were ancient, indigenous inhabitants of the central Texas hill country. However, ethno-historical and archaeological evidence indicates a late 17th century southward migration from the high plains of northwestern Oklahoma and western New Mexico into the river valleys of central Texas. Central to Tonkawa identity is their origin story centered upon Nauten Samak's Red Mountain, a prominent sandstone formation rising roughly 500 feet above sea level near the confluence of the Little and Brazos rivers in present-day Milam County, Texas. According to traditional cosmology, the owner of the earth, a divine wolf figure named Hasokanai, inspected his creations across the plains and arrived at a dome-shaped red mound. Driven by a powerful spiritual force, Hasokanai and his wolf pack excavated the base of the mountain, unearthing the first human being. Recognizing the vulnerability of this newly unearthed human, the Wolf Council provided him with a bow and arrow, instructing him to live nomadically as a brother to the wolves, hunting for sustenance, sharing his kills, and avoiding permanent stationary dwellings or agricultural cultivation lest he perish. This divine mandate established both the hunter-gatherer ethos of the Tonkawa and an enduring spiritual taboo against harming wolves. The social structure of the Tonkawa was organized around autonomous, matrilineal bands bound together by shared linguistic ties, seasonal councils, and exogamous clan relations. Maternal clans served as the foundational unit of society. Lineage was traced exclusively through the mother, and upon marriage, a husband relocated to live among his wife's maternal kin in a matrilocal residence arrangement. Anthropologists classify the Tonkawa kinship terminology as a crow system, characterized by a structural emphasis on clan solidarity and maternal lineage continuity. To protect widows and orphans in a society frequently impacted by frontier warfare, the Tonkawa practiced both the levirate and sororate customs. If a man died, his brother or a male cousin within the maternal clan was obligated to marry the widow. Conversely, if a woman died, her sister married the surviving husband. Property transmission followed matrilineal principles directly. When a man died, his personal property passed to his sister's children rather than his biological children, ensuring that horses, weapons, and ceremonial items remained strictly within the maternal clan lineage. The Tonkawa cultural ecology adapted seamlessly to the ecotones of central Texas, spanning the prairie grasslands and river bottomlands between the Colorado, San Gabriel, and Trinity rivers. As mobile big-game hunters, they relied on bison and white-tailed deer for primary sustenance, hide processing, and tool fabrication. When bison herds drifted northward, the Tonkawa supplemented their diet by hunting small game, including rattlesnakes, wild hogs, and turkeys, and harvesting native flora such as pecans, prickly pear fruit, roots, and berries. Coastal bands utilized aquatic resources, gathering fish and shellfish along the Texas Gulf Coast. Prior to the scarcity of bison in the mid-19th century, Tonkawa habitations consisted of portable bison hide teepees. As hides became scarce due to commercial overhunting by Anglo settlers, the tribe transitioned to constructing dome-shaped brush arbors, wickiups, fashioned from bent saplings covered with branches, grass, and woven mats. These structures provided ventilation and rapid mobility across their territory. The ceremonial life of the Tonkawa was rich in symbolism and heavily guarded from outside observation. The most sacred rite was the wolf dance, Klukwana, performed in a large enclosed brush lodge to honor their creation story. Observers in the 19th century noted that 50 warriors covered head to toe in wolf hides entered the lodge in single file, moving on all fours, growling, howling, and sniffing the earth. The dancers gathered at a designated spot and dug into the earth to unearth a buried Tonkawa man. The elder wolves then held council, handing the unburied man a bow and arrow and charging him to live as a free hunter. Equally significant was the Tonkawa water drum ceremony, an ancient peyote ritual practiced alongside the Lipan Apache long before European contact. Utilizing peyote, Lophophora williamsi, as a sacred, transformative medicine, this practice emphasized internal spiritual purification, communal singing, and communion with the Creator. The Tonkawa Tomeka ritual directly contributed to the 19th century development and spread of the Native American church across North America. During the 18th and 19th centuries, the Southwestern plains were defined by intense geopolitical struggle. The arrival of equestrian, Comanche, and Kiowa bands from the north and Apache bands from the west subjected the smaller, independent Tonkawa bands to continuous territorial pressure. To defend against encirclement, satellite bands such as the Aravipiame, Mayeye, Yojuane, Kava, Cantona, and Amet consolidated their numbers into the historical Tonkawa Tribal Confederation. Spanish colonial authorities sought to reduce the independent Tonkawa into stationary mission life. Between 1746 and 1749, the Spanish established 3 Franciscan missions along the San Javier-San Gabriel River. However, the Tonkawa resisted sedentary agrarian life, viewing mission confines as incompatible with their spiritual creation mandates and susceptible to devastating smallpox and measles epidemics. Instead, the Tonkawa made the Rancheria Grande, a sprawling, multi-tribal encampment along Alligator and Pin Oak Creeks near Sugarloaf Mountain, their primary geopolitical base. Housing up to 22 distinct native groups, Rancheria Grande operated as a major hub for trade and regional diplomacy. When the Texian movement emerged in the 1820s and 1830s, the Tonkawa adopted a pragmatic policy of firm military alliance with Anglo-American settlers, including Stephen F. Austin and Sam Houston. Facing potential extermination by the vastly superior military numbers of the Comanche Empire, the Tonkawa offered their tracking and scouting abilities to the Republic of Texas and later the United States military. The central figure of this era was Chief Placido, Ha-Shu-Kan Na, meaning can't kill him. Born to a Tonkawa father and a captive Comanche mother, Placido became the primary chief of the Tonkawa and one of the most effective military scouts on the Texas frontier. Placido forged a strong friendship with Stephen F. Austin and served alongside famous Texas Ranger commanders, including John Coffey, Jack Hayes, Ben McCulloch, and General Edward Burleson. In August 1840, following the Comanche raid on Linville, Chief Placido and 13 Tonkawa scouts led Texian forces in intercepting Buffalo Hump's war party at the Battle of Plum Creek near Lockhart, Texas. To avoid being shot by Texian militiamen in the chaos of battle, the Tonkawa tied white rags around their arms. Their scouting proved decisive in routing the Comanche war party. 18 years later, on May 12, 1858, Chief Placido led more than 100 Tonkawa and allied native scouts alongside Captain John Salmon Rip Ford's Texas Rangers in the Battle of Little Robe Creek, Antelope Hills, deep within Indian territory. Penetrating the heart of the Comanche area, the combined force engaged Comanche bands under Iron Jacket and Pita Nocona, inflicting a major defeat that marked a strategic turning point in the Southwestern Indian Wars. Despite their military service to the Republic and state of Texas, the Tonkawa were unable to stem the tide of Anglo-American encroachment. As non-indigenous settlement expanded rapidly during the late 1840s, game populations plummeted, and friction between settlers and native populations escalated. In 1855, the U.S. government placed the Tonkawa on the Brazos Reservation in Young County, Texas. However, local white vigilantes continually threatened the reservation inhabitants. In August 1859, federal Indian agents forcibly removed the remaining 300 Tonkawa north across the Red River to a new agency near Fort Cobb on the Washita River in Indian Territory, near present-day Anadarko, Oklahoma. The outbreak of the American Civil War in 1861 isolated the Tonkawa in Indian Territory. When Union military garrisons withdrew from Fort Cobb, Confederate agents stepped into the void. Dependent on rations for survival and bound by long-standing military relationships with Texas officers who had joined the Confederacy, Chief Placido and the Tonkawa agreed to serve as scouts for Confederate forces. This decision deeply alienated surrounding tribes, including the Caddo, Delaware, Shawnee, Wichita, Kickapoo, and Kiowa, who maintained in Union sympathies or resented the Tonkawa's historical role as scouts for white military forces. On the night of October 23rd to 24th, 1862, a coordinated force of pro-Union Shawnees, Delawares, Kickapoos, Caddos, Wichitas, and Comanches attacked the Indian agency at Fort Cobb, destroying the complex before turning their assault on the nearby Tonkawa encampment. Caught unprepared, the Tonkawa suffered catastrophic losses. Out of approximately 300 tribal members, 137 were killed in the night attack, including the elderly Chief Placido. Led by Placido's son, Charlie, the devastated survivors fled south back into Texas. Straggling into Fort Belknap, the surviving remnant lived in extreme poverty throughout the remainder of the Civil War. In 1867, Texas Governor J.W. Throckmorton petitioned the state legislature for aid, leading to the temporary stationing of the Tonkawa near Fort Griffin in Shackelford County, Texas. For the next 17 years, Tonkawa men served as scouts for the U.S. Army during the final campaigns of the Southern Plains Indian Wars, hoping their military service would earn them a permanent reservation in their Texas homeland. Despite lobbying efforts by Texas officials to grant the Tonkawa permanent land in Texas, the federal government ordered their final removal to Indian Territory in 1884. In October 1884, the remaining tribal members assembled at Cisco, Texas, and were loaded onto railroad cars, a journey remembered for the birth of a child named Railroad Cisco en route. The tribe wintered at the Sac Fox Agency near Stroud, Oklahoma, before embarking in the spring of 1885 on a grueling 100-mile overland wagon trek through torrential rains and deep mud. On June 30th, 1885, the Tonkawa reached their destination at the Oakland Agency near present-day Tonkawa, Oklahoma. This journey is remembered as the Tonkawa Trail of Tears. Throughout the 20th and 21st centuries, the Tonkawa tribe demonstrated remarkable resilience, rebuilding their community and establishing a modern sovereign nation. Headquartered in Tonkawa, Kay County, Oklahoma, the federally recognized Tonkawa Tribe of Oklahoma now numbers over 700 enrolled citizens. The tribe operates a diverse economy, including 3 commercial casinos and local business ventures managed through Tonkawa Enterprises. Economic revenues directly support tribal healthcare, housing, elder assistance, educational scholarships, and innovative youth development projects, such as the Earn and Learn program, which provides matching savings accounts for working tribal students. Concurrently, the tribe has prioritized cultural and linguistic preservation, utilizing historical field notes and linguistic documentation compiled by linguist Harry Hoyer in the 1930s. The tribe engages in active language revitalization efforts to preserve its unique native tongue.